Gotham, a crazy podcast about DC, with your hosts E-Rock and PD. When we speak up, get your geeks up, cause you know you about to get geeked up. So sit back, relax, and get comfy. Lose your mind like Solomon Grundy, and listen to a show that won't be forgotten, coming straight out of Gotham.
And hello, everybody out in the DC universe. Welcome to another episode of Straight Outta Gotham. This is episode 61. This one's for Roger Maris. We are a fandom pop culture podcast and a proud member of the Batman Podcast Network, hosted by Batman on Film. Make sure you check out all the other great shows on the network by heading on over to batmanonfilm.com. There's a tab for podcasts. Click that tab. Gotham Outsiders, ELTD, Comics on Console, Straight Outta Gotham, Italians for Spider-Man, tons of stuff. The Rick Shoe Satellite Show, and of course the flagship show, the Batman on Film podcast. I am your co-host from the other side of the Hudson River, a senior contributor to Batman on Film. I'm Peter R. Vera, and today we're recording on January 15th, 2022, and as always, we have a great show for you today. But before we get into the good stuff, I'd like to remind you, all of our faithful listeners, that if you take the time to rate and review our show on Apple Podcasts and we read your review on air, you enter our contest and win a special prize pack. Now, let me introduce you to my partner in crime, the man who won the 1987 through 1989 Massapequa Monster Truck Lifting Championships, a fellow Monster Truck Tire Lifting Championships. He's not that strong. A fellow Batman on Film contributor, ladies and gentlemen, Eric Holzman.
Wait, what year was that again?
87 to 89. You had a 3-year reign.
I was 11. That's great.
Do you remember Young Hercules? He was a big hit on social media back in the day.
I do remember him. But I had wiry strength. It's funny we're bringing that up again because we were just talking about wiry strength off air, and now here we go. I had wiry strength as a kid. It was monster trucks, but Pete got it wrong. It was like the old motorized little ones.
They were monster truck
tires. Yes. So I was doing that at that age.
Eric was doing Liver King workouts before.
It's true. If I wish I had pictures of myself when I played football because I looked completely different. You guys would not.
He had abs. He had abs.
I had biceps. I had a chest back then, not a flabby one. I had a real one.
A real one.
So, but man,
some people pay a lot of money for fake chests.
I know. Yes. Yeah, some people do. But no, there was a huge flood in my basement years ago, and a lot of my pictures that I had from that time are gone. They just got destroyed.
Was this during Sandy?
This was years ago. We had a really bad rainstorm, and there was a little crack in the foundation, and we went downstairs, and like it was like maybe 2 feet of water. It was pretty bad.
Really? My advice to everybody is get a pool pump. Get yourself 200 feet of hose and make sure that it's in your basement at all times, just in case.
Yeah,
that's what I have.
Yeah, there are certain places that people don't have to worry about that because they don't have basements. There's a lot of places in the world where you can't.
Bill says he doesn't have a basement in Texas. I think that's the worst thing in the world. How do you not have a basement?
Yeah, that was the weird thing when I moved to Florida. Like, no one has basements because the sand, it's all sand and the foundation isn't that strong, so there's nothing to really put in. So it's very odd for someone to have a basement. And when I lived there, I used to go and everywhere I went, they're like, no, there's no basements. So I was like, oh, okay. So
I was like, you better have an attic then.
Yeah. There's
if you don't have a basement, you gotta have an attic.
Everywhere has a garage. Like not everywhere on where I live on Long Island, not everyone has a garage. Like I don't have one, but there's
really?
Every place. If you don't have a basement, they have a garage.
There are 2 necessities for everything that I look on Zillow for: basement and garage.
See, guys, we're even doing like DIY channel stuff now, and giving you a little more than you bargained for.
We're already sponsored by Manscaped. Now we're trying to get sponsored by Zillow.
Home Depot could throw us, for Pete's suggestion of the pool pump. We could, whatever sponsor wants to come on, we will take. I guess we're whores for the sponsorship. So there we go. We will take whatever.
we're just the billboard. Bring your advertisements.
Yes. So,
for our vast audience.
So we are recording on January 15th. This is the opening weekend for Scream. I know, Pete, you have not seen it yet, but I have. And I just want to put out there, guys, I did a little quick review of the my little post review I did it on Facebook Live. and I tweeted it out over on Thursday night after I saw the film. So if you guys want to check out my really quick review, quick little feelings on the movie, sorry, you can go over there and look at that. I will say this: people who love the original series will like this one, and it's perfectly set up for a brand new reboot of the franchise. So take that what you will, but definitely go watch it, guys. It was a really, really good movie. So I'll just leave it at that.
I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
I just wanted to touch on that real quick. But guys, we have a great show lined up for you as always. Pete, as always, has found some excellent topics for us to discuss. And let's jump in. Let's get into that right now. So the first one that we're going to discuss, it was there was an article in Variety that we saw. What was it? Earlier this week, I believe, or maybe even last week, about...
No, we did a show last week. This is
that's true, actually. You're right. My fault. So I think it was Monday. That this came. About Warner Brothers talking about the Batman release date. And they said they're monitoring the situation having to do with the Omicron variant, which I heard today is good news, at least here in New York, that cases are trending downward. New Jersey, too. I saw that as well. So at least for us, it looks like we're headed in that direction. I don't know what it's going to be like all over the country, but I know in the Northeast, at least for New York and New Jersey.
Are you paying attention to Texas?
I am not, but we have two people who live more than that, who live there, who will be attending the Batman on Film watch party. I'm trusting Rick. I'm trusting Bill more than Rick. Definitely. Of course, we love you both. But
I'm trusting Javi.
Yes. So many people live in Texas who are in this little group of ours. So
Texas and Canada, that seems to be the popular spots for fanboys.
So they say they're keeping an eye on things. They're as of right now, they feel good about the date, but they're watching it day by day. So of course, the article also goes into how last year to mitigate the effects of COVID, they put their full streaming, put all of their movies on HBO Max. They went into that whole argument. There's financials involved in it and support it. I don't think that's going to happen here. Like I said, the good news is it does seem that Omicron cases are going down, and we're 6 weeks away from the release. So I don't think it's going to happen, but it is something to keep an eye on and to keep your ears open to, because you never know with this damn coronavirus, we might get another variant that pops up and, so.
Yeah, selfishly, I just like, because I think I bought a non-refundable point ticket. I really I'm going to Texas no matter what. So if this movie gets canceled, I guess I'm spending like the next, 3 days in American Airlines Arena, and no matter what they're doing, I'm going to those things. Well, maybe I'll take a tour at Cowboy Stadium. I don't know. But selfishly, I just financially, I'm like, I paid all this money for this trip to Texas. I want this to happen. And so I'm kind of paying attention to it. But I don't know. It's like you said, numbers seem to be going down, and we'll see what happens. I do know they do have the 45-day window until it's HBO Max. So, I just don't want to think about them canceling, pushing it back any further.
Well, I think when Morbius got moved back, I think that opened a lot of people's eyes. Like, oh, here we go again. But
I think that was a financial thing. I don't think that was like because they were scared of the virus. I think they're just trying to milk out. I don't think they want Morbius to go against No Way Home. I think that's what it is. I don't think that had anything to do with the virus.
They kind of used the virus as the little reason why they were moving it, but I kind of agree with you there. I think that Spider-Man just came out, obviously middle of December. It's doing great, obviously, and if they bring out another Sony product, which obviously won't do as well, to go up against it, it could hurt it financially.
Well, Nico, the Carusos and Zeddy see it about 3 times a week, so I think they're supporting. I think they are funding Sony solo.
It is crazy. It is crazy that I've only seen it once. I love it so much, but I still have only gone and seen it once.
I just haven't had the time to. My work schedule's a little crazy. I kind of by the time I get out, it's like 8:00, and I'm still home. I guess I'm an old man.
I will say this though: I was very encouraged how many people went to see Scream in the theater I was in. on Thursday. So I will say, just looking at box office and people going to the movies, it was a good sign for me to be sitting in an almost full theater for a movie that honestly, it's not a huge tentpole film. It is for people, it has fans like us who love the series and we're going to go back and see it, but it's not this huge tentpole movie, and it was full. So I
know TJ from Gotham Outsiders has seen it like 2-3 times already.
There you go.
Yeah, he's a huge Scream super fan, so this is like his Graceland. I was so excited. I believe he went full. I was
thinking maybe after you see it, we could do a live stream on all the Screams, and we can just tie it up to.
You want to say that for next Halloween?
No, we could do it. We could do it after you see it, and we could do it like next week or whatever.
We'll have to invite Lauer.
Yeah, he couldn't do our Halloween show, so it'd be perfect for him to come on.
Yeah,
guys, see, I'm doing production. We're having a production meeting live right now.
We're planning. We're doing planning.
I just threw it out there because on Thursday I didn't tell Pete I was going live. I just did it, so I apologize for that. I just went on live and.
What do you apologize? You should be doing that. What do you apologize to do it?
So, but not to go off on the tangent, but back to the Batman. I agree with what Pete said. I think that Morbius was moved because of financial reasons. I don't think we're going to have the Batman moved. A very good friend of ours who has a little more information, nod, wink, wink, says that it's pretty much not going to move. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that.
Crazier things happen.
And of course, it's going to be the theaters that make the decision more than Warner Brothers. Because if the theaters start closing down, cutting capacity, doing things, then that will make Warner Brothers have to react to how many people would actually go see the film.
It seems like it's more of a government thing. Like if the government starts putting regulations and everything. Because I feel like between No Way Home, Scream, and even to The Matrix to some extent, people are going to see the movies.
Yeah, like I said.
People are going back to the theaters.
Scream. Again, it was a premiere night, so that usually brings the people like, everyone wants to see it first so they don't get spoiled, especially nowadays. No one wants to get spoiled, so everyone runs. Twitter. But yeah, you're right. Like it seems people are going at least back to the movies that people thought they would go back to for the bigger name films. So
I mean, I feel like Spider-Man was close. I wonder how close Spider-Man is to $2 billion right now.
It's crazy. I cannot
machine.
believe that it's making as much money as it is. I knew it would make money because of everything that was involved in it, but I had no idea it would make this much money in a pandemic time. So, yes.
It's kind of crazy.
So we'll stick with the Batman because more news came out. It got, yesterday, or no, not yesterday, a couple days ago, it got its rating, and it is going to be a PG-13 film. There was a lot of people who thought it would be rated R because of the content, at least of what we had seen so far in the trailers. We do know that it definitely seems a lot darker and grittier than anything Nolan even did with the Dark Knight trilogy.
We say that about every time someone touches a Batman movie, except for Schumacher, right? Like Burton made a dark and gritty Batman movie. Nolan made a dark and gritty Batman movie. Snyder made a dark and gritty Batman movie. Like those words have almost lost their meaning when it comes to Batman. This doesn't look any more or less dark than anything that Nolan and Burton or Snyder have produced. I just think Snyder got his R ratings because he had Affleck's ass, and Batman said fuck, right? Like that's why he got those R ratings, and his theatrical cut of both of BVS is PG-13 because I believe the ass is taken out. So naked butts and swearing will get you an R rating. I never expected this to be rated R, not in a million years. Again, they want to sell merch and they want to do things, and Batman Returns still has an effect on how they think. I think. So.
And Scott Mendelson wrote an article in Forbes that discussed that very thing: how Batman Returns had a PG-13 rating, and obviously we're going back a very long time. Things have changed a lot since then, but when that movie came out, like parents and families. Parents got all upset because our kids are going to watch this, and the Penguin is making sexual innuendos towards Catwoman, and
See, the problem is parents aren't being parents. You're just assuming because it's Batman, it's a kid thing. It's not. It's not a cartoon. It's not on Saturday mornings. That's on you. I'm sorry, Karen. That's your fault. Do your job. Be a real mother and watch your kid. Watch what your kid's watching. Just don't think it's, like I'm sorry. If the parents want to come at me, screw it. Come at me. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm not a parent, but you know what? Like I'm going to at least do my homework before I take my kid to a movie. And chances are my kid's going to see RoboCop at 8 years old. So I don't care. My parents raised me right. They took control. They were active. They were proactive. So again, like that's all on you, Karen. You got to do your job, and you got to be a mom. You got to be a father. I don't care who you are. Just be responsible for what your kids watch and know what you're getting yourself into. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. I think like there's always been movies out there that, especially when I was a kid, that I wasn't supposed to watch, and my parents made sure I didn't watch them if they didn't want me to watch it. I remember certain movies, something like Platoon. I remember when Platoon came out, it was a big, and I was into military and stuff at the time, so I wanted to watch it. And obviously, Platoon is pretty bloody. It's got a lot of bad stuff that a kid of 8 or 9 shouldn't be watching. So my parents didn't let me see it. Same thing with Rambo. Stallone was all the rage. I was a huge Rocky fan as a kid. So when Rambo came out, I was like, crap, I want to go see Rambo. Obviously, I was not allowed. It just is R-rated. My parents wouldn't let me.
Your parents obviously weren't lazy.
My mom was very much not going to let me watch those films. A strict Roman Catholic upbringing as well. Like, there's just certain things.
I think the only thing my parents didn't let me watch was Married with Children.
But so that I get that argument. I understand, where parents are coming from, but it's really on you at that point, to pay attention and to make sure that the content of the film that your kid wants to see is.
Batman 89 is not exactly a kid-friendly movie either. So, like, going into Returns, I don't know what you were sure. Is it probably a little bit more? Yeah. But, like, I don't know what you were expecting. Like, I'm sorry.
Scott brings that up in his article, too. He says, like, 89 had the Joker just killing everyone for the hell of it. And that was fine. But once Returns came out, where you had a little bit more of the sexual innuendos and the penguin biting someone's nose and blood gushing out, and that was too much. Now we can't.
I mean, Penguin, Joker had some innuendos in that movie too. I don't care. So, like, it's just, again, I think it's just lazy parenting. If you want to have kids, do the job. That's it. I'm sorry. Like, that's it. I don't care. Somebody with kids wants to come at me. You'll find my handle at the end of the show. I'm not afraid of you. Come, let's go.
Yeah. No, I agree. And again, I don't have kids either. I do have many nieces and nephews. And if my sisters whenever they ask me an opinion on a film for my nephew to watch, my nephew Jake is 11 now. So if she asks me, Eric, hey, do you think this is good for kids? I'll tell her honestly, yeah. And you kind of have to know your kid too, right? You have to know.
Well, that's another thing too. Don't rose-colored glasses. Like, I remember someone actually asked Garrett on Twitter if Peacemaker was acceptable for his kids. He said his kids are 10 and 13. And I was like, for a 13-year-old, I think so. As a 13-year-old, I'm making dick jokes. I'm saying completely inappropriate things. I'm trying to be cool in front of my friends. So I'm sorry. Know your kid. Like, know yourself as a child too. Like, what you did. Right? There's a reason why every dad is afraid of prom night for his daughter, because he knows what he did on prom night. Don't be a fool. Things don't change that much.
Yeah, it is. So, yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting article, guys. If you want to take a read, just to notice the difference between 1992 and 2022, that in a lot of ways, our sensibilities have changed as well. I think my generation of parents, I'm 45. So my generation of parents who now have the kids of the ages that I was when Batman and Batman Returns came out are a little bit different, because we grew up in an era where things were a little bit different. So it's kind of changed the way we, like, I could say personally, for me, depending if I had kids and depending on my, how my kid is and what I know about my kid, I'd probably be fine with him going to see this movie. I haven't seen it yet. I just don't, from what I've seen so far, if I'm with him and he can ask me questions and I could talk to him about through it, I would take my kids to see it. Now, the toy angle he brings up in here as well, the merchandising Scott talks about as well, which of course is a huge deal. And I get that. Kids want to see the movie that they're going to be buying toys to. I always did when I was a kid. You know?
Yeah, but there's also the other, like the kids just want toys too.
Right, that's
like,
true.
Like, to be brutally honest, like you could, I don't understand the whole gripe of like, you know, the whole McDonald's thing of like, well, the penguin's on the Happy Meal and then he's going around killing babies. Like, he's the villain of the movie. Villains do bad things. Did anyone complain when Thanos wiped out half the Earth
with a snap?
Yeah, like, come on. Just because it's like, I get, again, it's because you don't see it. I don't know. But like, Penguin never actually kidnaps the kids. They're like in the cage for like 15 seconds.
Right. Batman saves them.
So I don't want to hear it.
Like, Batman, you know, that's the whole point of Batman is to, you know, to get the villain. So you got to make him do something.
I'll defend Batman Returns all day.
And I mean, I'll defend it too. It's not my favorite Batman movie, but I'll defend it to the point where I don't think, even at the time, as I would, even when it came out, I wouldn't have thought, well, this is too crazy, something I haven't seen before, or, you know, something that shouldn't be out there, or you know, it should be an R rating. I never, even from the first time I saw it, I could tell you, I never thought that was an R-rated film. So.
No. It's just funny because like me and Justin are always calling people soft on Twitter, but then soft people have been around forever. Let's be honest. They were soft in 92. That's why we got Batman Forever. And I like Batman Forever, but you know, a bunch of Karens and a bunch of soft people are the reason why for that movie. And then, you know, and then BVS.
Well,
happened, and it seemed like we were reliving.
I mean, even Batman Forever, if you want to say the Riddler pushes,
you can't tell me that movie.
And the Riddler
sexual.
pushes someone out a window, like. That's pretty bad. Like, because it's not bloody. It doesn't. Not the same
I'm pretty
thing.
Sure Chase Marining's walking around negligee.
Yes, yes. That was one of those times where I was a teenager, and you're like, "Oh crap, that's Nicole Kidman," and she does not look bad at all in that sheet that she's wearing right now.
Right?
So
my place. Midnight.
Seriously,
like, well, okay.
yeah. So again, what was the difference? Right, color. It's brighter. There's more neon.
Well,
jokes.
It's kind of the same thing I've been saying about the MCU. Like they get away with a lot of things because it's bright, shiny, and you can laugh at it.
That was basically the difference of what they did in that film. Is add a little more jokes. I mean, Jim Carrey does a crotch grab. There's a ton of stuff in that movie where you could say, yeah, this is really not that much different, at least tone wise. But again, so it's a very good article Scott wrote, guys. Check it out on Forbes. We just wanted to talk about it real quick. And if you want to yell at Pete, go ahead. He'll give you his information later, and you can get at him. I'll take get at him there. So let's stick with at least Batman. The Batman characters casting. There was a new trailer released for a Zoe Kravitz movie called Kimi, directed by Steven Soderbergh. And so we both watched the trailer. It's kind of like an Alexa influenced crime thriller. Yeah. Right. Yeah. She's a what is she? She's a voice stream interpreter. If you guys don't know what that is, it's someone who listens to obviously voice streams on things and then interprets it for criminals or law enforcement. Whatnot. Yeah, sorry. I lost my train of thought for a minute. So it looks pretty good. And it's Soderbergh. If you like Steven Soderbergh's style, you already know the kinds of movies he makes. So but yeah, this looks
fast paced, lots of action. And it's kind of relatable. Like, I mean, I've got 2 Alexas in my house, and I feel like everyone's got an Alexa, a Google Home, a Siri in their pocket or something like that. Right. So it's something that, you know, everyone can, you know, kind of relate to. You know, your voice is constantly being recorded as much as everyone wants to admit. Like, you got a walking GPS in your pocket, and no, it's not the vaccine. So it's very relatable, and it's like, you know, things like this get me excited because I get to check out actors I don't normally check out. Like, it's like when Aaron Eckhart was cast as Harvey Dent. He was in some sort of like rom-com restaurant movie where he was a cook, and I checked that out just to see him. You know, I forget what it was. It was with
I know the movie you're talking
Jones.
about. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I went to see that because I was like, oh, let me check out Harvey Dent and things like that. So this is streaming, and it's a streaming on HBO Max only. So I'll definitely check it out for sure because it's just very convenient. But it looks fun. It looks interesting, and it looks like something we all can kind of like relate to.
Rita Wilson, Tom Hanks' wife, has a prominent role in the trailer. She's in the film. Robin Givens, if everyone remembers Robin Givens, she's in the film. So there's a lot of other actors and actresses that you might know who are in this movie. Also, I was talking to to Pete before we came on air about how much Zoe Kravitz looks like her mother. It is like, she does. I mean, I always say it, but in this, because she's not wearing anything and she just looks like, it's amazing how much she looks like Lisa Bonet.
She looks good no matter what color her hair is.
Yeah, she has blue hair in the trailer, guys. There is blue hair here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool, what the whole gist of it is she overhears a crime, or she thinks she overhears a crime a murder going on, and that the movie takes off from there. So go check out the trailer. It's on YouTube. If you guys want to check it out, it's also on our page. What's
the name of that Sandra Bullock movie where she's on the run and it involves technology? I forget what it's called. You know what I'm talking about? Oh man, because that's what it kind of reminds me of.
I kind of do.
It's like 90s. It's like vintage Sandra Bullock. Google.
Yeah, let's look that up and see if I can find it.
Bullet. Is it like Hacker or something? I feel so Francesa now. We're so much to it. The Net.
Yes,
it feels like
the Net.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it definitely does. Something like that. It's kind of like, I don't know why this comes to my head, but watching it, I thought of Enemy of the State, even though it's really not dissimilar. But
okay.
Like it was just going through my head.
You're just on the run. You're on the run for your life, So it's like kind of like
so it looks very cool, and it looks like I'll definitely give it a watch. I'll do that. I like Soderbergh's films. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a watch. If you guys want to check out the trailer, like we said, it's on YouTube, or you could link to it on our page, any of our pages.
It's everywhere but Instagram, our neglected platform.
Yes, our neglected Instagram platform, but it's cool. So let's jump in now. Let's talk about Peacemaker, because it just premiered this week and it's fresh on our minds, and a lot of stuff, outside of the show just happening and starting, there's a lot of cool little things that we got. So the opening of it, arguably is the best opening of anything I've ever seen in my life, if I'm being honest with you.
It's one of those opens I can't skip through. Like I can never skip through the opening of The Office. I never skip through the opening of The Sopranos. And it's just like this kind of, and this is a little bit more involved, right? There's a whole cast of characters. There's a whole dance routine. Everyone's doing absolutely insane stuff, and it's just, it gets you ready for you watch this and you know what you're going to get. Just that's it. I mean, this is another James Gunn musical masterpiece.
It really is. Like, this is something that you would expect from him, and even expecting something like this, when I saw it, I was still surprised.
I've downloaded so much music already because of this show.
So if anyone, there's a little interview he did in Rolling Stone where they ask him about the intro and a little bit more, but it's mostly about the intro. And if anyone saw the movie Super that he did with Rainn Wilson, is actually in that. This kind of opening is in that movie. It's just animated. I don't remember that opening of it, but now I'm going to go back and watch it to see, because it's a pretty cool thing, and to see it animated, to be just where the idea came from, be cool to see where it jumped off. But you're right, I don't skip the intro, and normally I would, but every time I watch the opening, I see something else that I liked or that I missed,
because there's so much going on. Did you the interview references how House of Cards has this horrible opening sequence that basically birthed the skip intro button? Is that true?
It's a little long. Yes, I used to watch House of Cards. It is a little long. Okay. The music is slow.
Because I found that interesting.
But yeah, I usually skip intro on all of it. I watch it the first time, and then that's it. After that, I don't stick with them. So yeah.
Wow. There's some intros I just love. Like I said, like the Office one, I just love that jingle. It just gets me ready.
Also, the music is from this Norwegian glam band Wigwam. Who I had never even heard of, but
haven't either. But I own an album now.
So but it fits the vibe of the show and of the character. It was choreographed by Carissa Lee Barton, the opening.
and everyone they all did their dance moves. Like they all learned it and everything. And, you know, Gunn was talking about how some people were better dancers than others. He mentions his girlfriend who plays Harcourt was she's probably the best dancer of the group. Detective Sung was a great dancer. John Cena, not so much, but he worked really hard at it. And, you know, it's really cool. And he's like, Robert Patrick, not a great dancer, but we did what we could do, you know, and it seems like they worked with everyone's capabilities. And, you know, it's cool to see Eagly at the end. And, you know, I can't wait to talk about the show. I can't wait to get past the open because the show is just so much fun.
And you brought up the music for it's all glam rock. It's all 80s glam rock, 80s, early 90s glam rock. And Gunn goes into that in the piece too, in the interview. He talks about how he liked Motley Crue, so shout out to Rick for that because him and James Gunn have something to kind of vibe off of there. But yes, the music is excellent. It's just a really, really well done opening and show. So let's kind of dive into the show now. The first 5 minutes are some of the best TV I've seen in a long time. Where he just gets up, he's still in the hospital, and he has the conversation with the janitor.
I love it. The banter is very funny.
So
in this show.
Awesome.
It's very funny, and to be honest, if you didn't, and I can't imagine anyone who hasn't seen the Suicide Squad, but if you haven't, you technically don't even need to watch that movie because they do such a great job of recapping the movie and Peacemaker, and it leaves you off in a wonderful spot. So even if you don't remember Suicide Squad, if you forgot what goes on in that movie, you get a great refresher course right at the beginning of episode 1. Episode 1 is a little bit longer than the other 2 episodes. We got the first 3 episodes on HBO Max. I think the first one's about 49 minutes. The other was about 4 minutes. So you get a 10 minutes extra. The team dynamic, you've got character and spoilers. We're going to go spoilers here. So if you haven't watched, 30 seconds forward. You know, it was great to see Waller back. It's great to see that what's her name's Waller's daughter. That's a cool little implant. Myrn reminds me so much of Waller. Like I was like, wow, like it's like, did you study Viola Davis? Because you were acting just like her. I thought that was brilliant. I love Diebeard. I think he's hysterical. Steve Agee. I'm so happy that he's back. You know, we've got a friggin' Batmite reference. So the DCEU is growing for all the haters out there who want to complain things are being erased and restored and whatnot. Guess what? The fifth dimension is confirmed. It's there. Other heroes are confirmed. Batman's been confirmed and mentioned several times, as is Superman. And Robert Patrick, he does a fantastic job playing a horrible person in what looks like a great, and he's the fact that like Peacemaker and his father, their relationship is very interesting. It seems like Peacemaker wants to try to, you know, he seems like a different character from Suicide Squad. You know, it seems like he's almost learned his lesson to an extent because there's growth there. And you could see it because he won't kill the butterflies. Right. You know, whereas in Suicide Squad, he's going to kill everything. You know, you had that great kill off between him and Bloodsport. So that was fantastic to see him kind of grow and everything. And I think Vigilante is really a nice breath.
Vigilante is my favorite character on the show because
he's cold-blooded, but he's a goof. You know? Like,
no, he's that typical person who talks a big game and then hides when the bats.
Well, he came up big with the sniper rifle.
True.
You know,
he did.
Like how touching was that moment? And it's so crazy because like they're killing children.
He did.
Well, aliens. He just goes, buddy, just move on. Like it's like when you're like your buddy's like struggling in a level in like Super Mario and you're just like, give me the controller. Instead they pass the sniper rifle to the left. And you're like, what is going on? And he's so calm and collective shooting these people.
He did. He is a badass. But like he just wants in this, at least he just wants acceptance, right? Like you could tell he says that he's Peacemaker's best friend, and Peacemaker's like, no, you're not my best friend. And
I don't even know you're
right. Like there's so much going on with the character. The whole torture scene is great.
Oh my god,
it was great. How they did that and how Peacemaker like didn't care. As you can tell, and it's kind of like that dynamic is going to grow. But he really wants Peacemaker's acceptance. He gets all the old appliances so they could do the whole target practice scene and right. That was cool. It's just that part kind of reminded me of the Suicide Squad a little bit.
Does this feel like Deadpool to you? like a Deadpool TV
Vigilante
show.
looks
Almost.
like Deadpool a little bit.
It's got dumb humor, which I like, you know, and then it's got just bloody, murderous rampage. It feels like this is almost. We've been comparing Harley to Deadpool for so many years now. Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. I almost feel Peacemaker's taking that mantle here because of the humor and the murder.
Yeah, I will say. Stylistically, yes, this is much closer to what a Deadpool would be than a Harley Quinn interpretation. Deadpool isn't like Harley Quinn's a little nuts. Deadpool isn't really nuts. He's just a douchebag, for lack of a better term. And Peacemaker's kind of the same. Yeah, Peacemaker's kind of the same. He's not as in tune with things though. Like Deadpool's kind of smart. Peacemaker just seems kind of aloof.
He's a little bit dumb.
Which is why Sita playing him is perfect, because Sita always plays the dumb jock role perfectly. So it's a perfect casting. And I normally do not like him. I've said it many times. I'm not a fan of his acting, but in this role is perfect for him.
He's grown on me so much. He really has, as an actor. You know, I'm kind of shocked because I never thought he would be as good as The Rock. And I'm not saying he is as good as The Rock. Like The Rock is clearly probably the biggest name in Hollywood right now. But I think John Cena is doing very well for himself. I'm happy he found this role. It seems to fit him really well. And there's so many things like I love the little details that Gunn adds to this, like the helmet, for instance. Like now Peacemaker, it's not just a helmet. It does things.
His father is the one who creates all of it.
He's got like an entire, it looks like the Matrix.
Yeah.
When Morpheus brings in the guns, like they walk through the door and then like everything just pops up and he's got all these helmets, some for breathing underwater, some for sonic boom, yada, yada, yada. It's very cool. And they all look different. They all have distinct features. And I thought that was creative. And I like everything about Peacemaker. I loved how he has a sports car that looks like the American flag. I love how his trailer looks like the American flag. I love how his mailbox looks like his trailer that looks like the American flag, you know, and it's just funny because he's literally just ridiculous. He's just ridiculous.
And we can't talk about Peacemaker without, of course, talking about Eagly, right?
Oh, I love Eagly. Where's my Eagly action figure, Todd? And Mr. McFarlane, I want a Peacemaker action figure in his boxer briefs. Like I got my Peacemaker figure in hand right now. I want the half nude John Cena action figure.
That is a very weird.
Like that scene's amazing. Stop it! I love shirtless Momoa. I'll put my shirtless Momoa next to my tidy whitey Peacemaker, and I'll be a happy fanboy.
Well, the end of the first is it the first one? The end of the first one into the second one, he's in his underwear for like good 30 minutes of both shows. So, you know, even if you got the underwear, the tidy whities Cena, which we got, of course, in the Suicide Squad as well. But yeah, it's just a really, really fun show, fun and creepy at the same time, but very, very good. What's her name?
And it's grand too. Like there is, like you watch the show, and until the third episode, you don't realize how big this actually is. Like this show is at a massive world-saving level. It's just as big as Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
You know, the world is at stake. This isn't like some little mission. This isn't just a character saving a city. This is the world. So Peacemaker, the dumbest hero the planet, is trying to save the world. This is going to be completely bonkers.
And like you were talking about, the cast and the acting it's really, really well done. Jennifer Holland is great.
Oh my god, she's magnificent. She kicks ass.
She's really good. And
in that open, she's jacked, dude. Her biceps are bigger than mine.
Yep. And even the guy who plays the what's it called? Judo master. He has like he was great too. Like he was excellent.
With the hot Cheetos. It's like, remember when I kicked your ass? And he's just flicking Cheetos.
Yes. He was like, I want some. And he starts flicking the Cheetos. Peacemaker wants to eat them, but he's just flicking them at his head. And it's like leaving streaks on his face from the Cheeto dust.
At one point he like kicks one and it hits him in the head and it hurts. It's brilliant. And I'm glad that this is a new character because I remember I saw a glimpse of him and he moves fast. Like his name, Judo Master, he is a Judo Master. Like this guy would like beat up Tony Jaa. That's how good this guy is. Like I thought it was TDK because he just moves. Like I can't get a clear look in the trailers and everything. So I'm like, oh, they brought Nathan Fillion back. But it's not. It's a new character in a similar outfit, but he's like, I don't know, 2.5 feet.
Yes, he's short. And it's a fun, and the person who kills him or knocks him, is he dead? I guess he's dead.
I don't think he's dead because if you spoiler alert, if you watch the coming next episode, which I usually try to skip, he does he's
okay,
hostage.
all right, so he's not dead, but the fact that what's his name, Economist, is the one who knocks him out and then does a little dance over his body.
Well, it's great too because, like, Murn's like, anyone walks out that door, you get rid of it. And he's like, how do I do that? Any means possible. And then it's Judo Master. And then Diebeard is just like, oh, no, what do I do? Because it's like, I don't know, like, it'd be like me taking on Bruce Lee. Like, what am I supposed to do?
I know. It's so, God, as you see, we're talking about it. And while we're talking, we're just pulling stuff from the shows that we liked.
It's just good. It's just good, fun entertainment.
Yes.
And, it's James Gunn. Sometimes he goes a little too crazy. Sometimes it doesn't always work for me. Sometimes it does. But there are times I do enjoy teenage humor and dick jokes, and there's a ton of them in this, and it's we had exposure to him in the Suicide Squad, so we knew kind of what we were expecting, and that's what we're getting. So. I mean, if you've watched all of James Gunn's movies are pretty similar, except for like Dawn of the Dead, right? He just wrote that movie. But when he has like full creative control, like there's all the Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, Slither, even a movie he executive produced, I believe, The Belko Experiment. Like they're all pretty similar.
Super, which I saw, which you haven't seen, but Super,
yeah. Like they all fit in line. It's totally James Gunn. Like Warner Brothers and HBO Max were like, we have nothing but faith in you. We trust you. Trust your gut. And I think he has, and it's really worked well. And I appreciate everything from the music to the choreography of dancing and fighting, the dialogue. Like there's not one thing I didn't like about this show.
And it's and like we said, it's the first 3 episodes are on HBO Max now, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. We spoiled, but we didn't spoil that much, I don't think. So you can still watch it and get a really, really good feeling from the show without, us giving away too much.
How many episodes do you know?
I don't. I want to say it's 9.
I forget.
Maybe.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. But I can't wait to see the 4th one now. Like I'm fully...
In the Rolling Stone interview, he says we up the ante in season 2. Like he's already got plans.
That's the crazy thing.
Like,
remember we were talking about this before it came out, and he said he wrote it in like a half hour or like an hour, some stupidness like that.
I believe he wrote it during his COVID
like he
break.
Just sat down and he put it together, and then he pitched it to them. And they were like after the like. Or he said he wrote it while he was editing the Suicide Squad. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. He wrote it and then he just pitched it and they were like, yeah, cool, let's go. And man, this guy is an incredibly creative guy. I wish I had that kind of talent. It takes me forever to write freaking reviews on things I just saw. This guy can write a whole freaking show in like an hour.
Yeah, but he can't lift a monster
he can't.
truck tire.
Well, I don't know if he can, but I would go up against him at any point.
He's a thin dude. I don't know. He doesn't look too muscular. He's not John Cena.
That's true. He is not John Cena.
I don't know how much lifting James Gunn's actually doing.
Yes. So, and we'll kind of stick in the Peacemaker world. Obviously, we know Peter Safran is one of the producers. And there was another little article that came out that he sees an opportunity for more of the solo characters to have TV spinoffs. So maybe we're not only getting Peacemaker, maybe we are getting more of these characters. Obviously, Bloodsport is one of the bigger ones. One of the big ones from the Suicide Squad. Ratcatcher was also a big fan favorite from the movie. So either of those would be cool. He says in this piece that obviously you have to flesh him out. There's got to be given a life beyond what the show would, or what the character already is. And I guess they'd have to check and see if there's a plan for another film. I don't know what the idea is there.
I'd love like some sort of like Bloodsport Deadshot face-off.
That would be
series.
cool.
Maybe Bloodsport's got to bring. Maybe Deadshot escaped. Maybe Deadshot went, and Bloodsport's got to bring him back. Something along those lines. Just have those two assassins go after each other, because you get Idris and you get Will. I'm like, that's just like, I'm so in for that. And I know they're very similar characters. I know they both have the daughter aspect, but I mean, anyone who has kids is going to do whatever they want for their daughters. As much as I, railed on parents earlier in the show, I'm sure they do the best they can.
Yeah, no, I think I kind of would like that idea. I think that would be cool if they did that. Obviously, we know that Deadshot isn't dead. It was just a scheduling thing that Smith couldn't do and be back in the Suicide Squad. So maybe there's an idea there, like you said, to work out with both of them. I'd be interested to see the James Gunn take on Deadshot. Obviously, we got the David Ayer take, at least sort of.
It'd be cool, maybe some sort of animated King Shark show that's very lighthearted, kind of fun. I'd be into something like that. Everyone really loved Ratcatcher. I don't know where you would go with her, but she was very captivating in the movie, and she kind of stole everyone's heart. So clearly, that actress and that character resonated with a lot of people. And
did Gunn hinted that there's a character that we thought was dead that isn't?
He, in the Rolling Stone article, he said there's a character in the dance-off open that we don't see until like episode 5. So there's a character in there, and I've been trying to find out who it is, but there's so much going on.
Right. So we'll see what's going on. But I definitely think, even after we saw the movie, I said there's a lot of potential going forward, whatever they decided to do. We had already known Peacemaker was happening. But there's a lot of potential for, like you said, the other characters. So I would love to get more of this world in whatever form we get it, whether it's another movie, whether it's more shows on HBO Max. It'd be awesome just to expand the brand. And then, again, you could bring them back together for the Suicide Squad sequel, whatever they want to do going forward with that. So, guys, you want to check that out. That article was on IGN, so you want to check that out. You can go find it on our pages, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you follow us. Hopefully both places. You could check us out over there. All right, so let's slide a little bit. Let's slide down. Slide a little bit, and let's talk a little about Spider-Man. So as we know, we just came off Spider-Man No Way Home, which is, as we talked about before, is doing huge numbers, doing great. And we also have another highly anticipated Spider-Man movie coming out, which of course is Across the Spider-Verse, the animated sequel to Into the Spider-Verse that we're getting. It's written and directed by Phil Lord and Miller. Of course, my famous Lord and Miller from the not seen version of Solo that we didn't get. Release the Lord and Miller cut, Kathleen Kennedy. Yeah, so it's saying that in the Spider-Verse is that there's an article that Pete sent me in Collider where they talk about it, and they said that they kind of each version kind of deals in their own segment of the each dimension have its own style, own art style, the way it's drawn and the way it's seen, which is cool. That was one of the things I loved about the first movie was the way everything was. They were all together, but each character kind of had its own style within it. Yeah. So that's cool to see. So Pete, we're getting this film. I know you liked Into the Spider-Verse. So what are you looking forward for in this, and what do you think of the? I mean, I'm really interested to see what Miguel O'Hara and Spider-Man 2099 look like. I'm curious to see that version of the world. We got a little bit of teases of everything. We can kind of get an idea like Spider-Man Noir and Spider-Gwen and I don't know the mech spider. I forget her name, but I think it's just Spider. But like it'd be cool to just kind of venture out into their world. I think that'll set the movie apart from its predecessor, is going to those places and spending a significant amount of time in each place. That seems to be what they're doing, almost like a Globetrotter effect, like they're hopping around from place to place. So that'll be interesting because you spend a lot of time in the Miles world and seeing Miles' perspective. And now it seems that Miles is going on a bit of a road trip himself. So we'll see what happens. This seems to be Miles Far From Home mixed within No Way Home. Yeah, and speaking of No Way Home, we know that there's been some speculation that maybe Zendaya and Tom Holland, of course, MJ and Peter Parker from the live action film, might appear in this movie in some shape or form. I want them to do that Roger Rabbit style. That would be cool, honest. Yes. I think that's how they should do it. I don't think you should animate Holland and Zendaya. I think you should throw them in there green screen wise and have them interact with some puppets and then have the human
animated element. I think that would be really
It would
fun.
be. I think it would be cool. You're right. That's probably the best way to do it. It would be awesome content too. The way obviously what we got from No Way Home with the other Spider-Man and other characters returning. It'd be cool to kind of have that kind of similar vibe here, bringing these two into this animated universe. But you're right, keeping their human forms and not being animated. So that would be fun. So guys, I know so many people, so many Spider-Man fans loved Into the Spider-Verse. This one looks to be like much bigger, a bigger, more ambitious take. And with everything going on with multiverses in every universe now that we have, I'm looking forward to this.
It's the big thing now.
It very much is.
When does Star Wars jump into the multiverse? Is there a Star Wars? No, seriously. Is there anything like this in Star Wars canon?
No.
Are they the only franchise who's
They're
not?
This? The only way I could see them doing something like this is if they finally, the expanded universe stuff that's not considered canon now, if they said, you know what, let's dip our toes into that and do some live action or animated stuff with those books. And then you could kind of get into some kind of multiverse type deal in Star Wars. But I don't see it happening. Especially with the way things are going with Star Wars right now, with all the Disney Plus content that they're doing, it's growing that way. And I think that they're just going to stick in that road. But you never know. I mean, they're Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars are under the same umbrella now. So you never know.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I think everyone knows I'm not the big Eric stuff, as I like to call it. I'm not the biggest fan of Eric stuff. So I was curious. I'm just surprised that something so fantastical doesn't have some sort of time travel.
Yeah, it would be cool though. I think it might be cool to have.
I give him credit for not though, because it almost in a sense grounds Star Wars.
Which is crazy to say, but you're right. It does. It definitely grounds. It keeps Star Wars in where it's at, or where it's always been, as kind of the lone thing now that just stays in its lane, which is.
Oh man, can you imagine original trilogy fans flipping out if there was some sort of Star Wars multiverse?
Dude, I'm an original trilogy fan. I wouldn't flip out, but I know what you mean.
Know the people I'm talking about. The zaddy equivalent to whatever a Star Wars whack job is.
Yes, the ones who wanted to redo The Last Jedi and pay for it themselves. Those kinds.
Yeah,
yes,
those with their GoFundMe and petition.org.
Those people. Yes, I would.
I'm surprised they didn't go motion comic.
Oh God, don't put that out there. If they listen to it, they might get the idea now.
I'm sure they'll get a lawsuit too.
So speaking of Spider-Man and Spider-Man No Way Home, we know the director of Spider-Man, all of the Spider-Man movies in the MCU was Jon Watts. And he apparently is getting to direct and produce the new Final Destination movie for HBO Max. Pete, did you watch the original Final Destination?
I tapped out after a certain point. I think it was after like Final Destination, because there's what, 6 of them?
Yeah, only the first one for me was any good, but continue.
I'm with you. The first one I really enjoyed. I think Devon Sawa was in it. Yes. Was that the kid's name? I really liked the first one. The second, it was kind of like Saw. Really liked the first, didn't like the second, checked out after the third. You know, I was kind of like, I don't know, this is for me anymore. And we'll see what happens. Reboot of this, I don't know. Does it need to be rebooted? Can it just be another installment? I feel like they've changed the cast by now often. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Again, the first one's really good. It's kind of a classic. That's the one I'll rewatch. I'll check this one out, and I'll judge it for that. But we'll see. I like Watts. I think Watts did a great job in No Way Home. I think he's owed a little bit. I think he's got something to prove. I think a lot of people have doubted Watts, myself included, after Far From Home, and everyone kind of assumes that he was hijacked in No Way Home. So I think he's a man on a mission, and he's going back to his roots. He did something like Clown, which is kind
Cop
of
Car.
Whoa. Yeah, so check that stuff out. He's done some good stuff. So I think he's, like I said, I just think he's a man on a mission. He's got stuff to prove, and he wants to show everybody the type of director he actually is, or he actually wants to remind people the type of director he is.
Yeah, the I've always thought the concept of Final Destination was cool. So I'm down to see a new take on it. Like you said, it's one of those franchises that after like the second one or third one, you're kind of like, all right, enough. This is just the same thing over, and how much bigger bigger and faster and harder can we go? It just gets to a point where you're like, yeah, enough. But I think it would be cool to do this again. I was a fan. Obviously, I'm a fan of the Spider-Man films. I'm with you. I like Far From Home a little more than you, but overall, it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie.
You like it a lot more than I do. Let's not be serious. Let's be serious. Like a lot
elements. There's elements of it I like. Yes,
a lot more than me.
Yes, that's true. A lot more than you. Yeah, I was being kind.
Don't be honest. We're not kind on this show. We're honest.
So, yeah.
Antagonists, depending on who you talk to.
So this, I'm willing to see what he does next, and if this is his next thing he's going to do, I think he should be given more stuff to do. But
he's got Fantastic Four, so
true.
We'll see what he can do with that as well.
Get Fantastic Four, so which I wish we would. Well, whatever. We'll see what happened. There's a lot of stuff, rumors going out there now about Doctor Strange. Who's in Doctor Strange?
Yeah, we stopped speculating about Spider-Man because we saw it. Now we're doing it.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there now. Certain people dropping hints that maybe. So I have no idea. But I'm getting the feeling that movie is going to be like a next level from what we got from No Way Home.
Well, some people are considering it like a glorified cameo fest. Some people are saying that. I think, well, it's funny because like here's the thing, and I'm just going to go off on this because I wanted to. I've said this to Nico. The same people who are huge fans of Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2 post No Way Home are the same people who loved Ben Affleck's Daredevil so much that they want him to reprise the role in Multiverse of Madness. You guys, it's like the latest and greatest crew always seems to come out at the right time. If you guys like these movies that much, they would have gotten sequels.
Seriously, and this was one of the things I was worried about with what happened in No Way Home, bringing back Maguire and Garfield, is that
it kind of overshadows Holland.
But now everything that happened before, people are going to want to bring back, right? Everything. You have Ben Affleck's Daredevil. Where's Elektra? Are we going to get Jennifer Garner back too? Is she coming into the thing?
Well, that's kind of like the thing I thought about Marvel is like they're kind of open Pandora's box, and I'm like, are you guys running out of ideas over there that you're just rehashing everything you already did? You're just bringing back everyone for their second chance.
I just don't want that to happen because then the specialness of No Way Home gets lost. If they start doing this all the time, then what was special about that film will just.
And like, look, I'm a fanboy. I watch Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2 every once in a while. I'll pop in the director's cut of Daredevil, but by no means am I sitting there like, I love this movie back in like whatever year it came out. Like, it's okay. Like, and I'm way more lenient on this stuff than Eric is sometimes. And but I'm not sitting there like, I know why these movies failed. I could still enjoy them. You know what I'm saying? The same thing goes for BVS. Like I dig BVS. I think it's awesome, but like I get why nobody else liked it. Like it just makes sense. So I don't know. I wish people would be a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, like let's we got we got Daredevil back in No Way Home, right? We got Matt Murdock.
We just got Charlie Cox in the MCU. Now we want to bring.
What are we doing here? Like everyone was screaming, "Oh!" when they got canceled, the Daredevil and the Netflix shows got canceled. Everyone was like, "Oh, we're gonna lose all these great characters." Well, we got one of them back, and they're going to be doing something with him going forward. Kevin Feige said that.
I don't see anybody claiming for Danny Rand.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other story. But yeah, there's no outcry for like Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. Like, I don't know. Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens going forward. That's my.
Whatever they do, they do, and I'll accept it for what it is. But I'm not going to go back and say I think Ben Affleck's Daredevil is a masterpiece. I'm just not going to.
It was not a masterpiece.
It's an all right comic book movie. It's an all right comic book movie, and I can watch it and I can enjoy it. But by no means do I think it's like amazing.
No. I think people were a little too harsh on him and on the movie. It's not as bad as people would make you believe. I don't think it's a good movie by any stretch.
The Seesaw thing is still bad.
Yeah, like there's a lot of stuff in that film that it's
Colin Farrell.
It's very much of its time too. Like if you think about the time it came out, it's very much that era of Hollywood and filmmaking and stuff like that. So I kind of put it in that little compartment, but I don't want to see him back as Daredevil. Like that was so long ago. We have a new one. The new one was 20 times better.
It's like
leave it.
Remember when Ryan Reynolds was going to be in the Snyder Cut? It's kind of like that. You know, like, sure, like Reynolds got his redemption and, you know, whatever so with good. Deadpool. But like, if so it was, but, you know, if he was in that movie, I would have dug it. It would have been fine. It would have been better than Martha Manhunter. But, you know, like, I'm not crying for Green Lantern 2, but I'll still watch it and I'll watch him fight Scungili. Like, I got no problem with that. You know? So it's what it is.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how we spun out of Final Destination into here, but you know, guys, there's another Final Destination in development. So if you want to read more about that, if you're a fan of the franchise, again, the articles are linked on our sites. And
they should bring back Devin Sawa.
They should, man. That would be cool.
He's very active on Twitter.
I haven't seen him in anything in forever. I don't know what he's doing right now, but if they can bring him back, right? Just get him back. That'd be fun. All right, moving ahead, we got news of a Zorro that was in development. I think this is a different one, if I'm not.
This is a different one. It's a totally different angle here. The other one was what was it? A telenovela.
Yes,
I don't know. Telenovela.
Yes. Well, this is not. This is going to be a Zorro TV show, lead from Robert and Rebecca Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez, of course, who also right now is the director and showrunner for the Book of Boba Fett. He is going to be heading a CW version of Zorro, which is going to be a gender swap. So Zorro is going to be female. So Pete, I know you said you had interest in the film that they were doing, or the show, HBO Max, whatever. I think it was a film. So what about this? Are you interested in a gender swap?
I'm more interested in the other one, but the fact that I like Robert Rodriguez, I will give it a shot. But it's interesting to me. I don't know who is. I hate to sound like a fanboy, but like who asked for a female Zorro. But I'm gonna give it a shot. I prefer the other one, even though that may not even be my cup of tea either because of the way they're gonna do it. How was it? Telenovela. What is telenovela? I'm sorry. Everyone knows I can't pronounce words. Like, so that angle might turn me off too. I love Zorro. I'll give it a shot. You know, sometimes you watch something, you don't think you're going to love it, and you do. So maybe that's it. I really like Robert Rodriguez's stuff. You know, going back like Dusk Till Dawn, and Sin City, all that jazz. So like, I'll give it a chance.
Spy Kids, but
I never watched Spy Kids, but I know that's huge for him.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see the concept. There's a little blurb about what it says. It says, a young Latinx woman seeking vengeance for her father's murder joins a secret society and adopts the outlaw persona of Zorro. That's the little blurb we got on what exactly this is going to be. So the CW seems to be going with a lot of female-helmed shows now. We got Naomi, obviously, which just came out this past week, and now we're getting this. There's this Zorro in development. There was going to be the new Green Arrow and Canaries that got canceled, but that was going to be led by Mia Smoke, who played Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke's daughter, and was the new Green Arrow in the CW Arrowverse. So they seem to be heading in that direction, which is great. Like I said, it's awesome when we have female led stuff in this world for me, because it's
like Batwoman.
Yes, even though I do not watch it, I very much applaud the show, and that it has a new fan base and is bringing more women into this comic book space, and young girls, because I think it's needed. I know there's been a lot more women obviously in this space, but it's still a majority male dominated area. And I think it's cool that anytime we get more female representation in this comic book space, for me, I'm all for it. So this is great with Zorro, and let's just see what happens. I'll definitely watch it. I did watch the first episode of Naomi, just really quickly. I know, Pete, you said you haven't seen it yet, but I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. Again, it's not written for me. It's not written for a guy in his mid-40s, but it's definitely a strong show. I think it deals with a character I didn't know much about.
She's a new character, fairly new, within the last 2 years.
Yes, and it's very well done. The acting's very solid. The writing on the show is very good. It brings in other elements of the DC universe. I'm not going to go into who or what, but there is other elements that you will see and get be recognized. No,
I actually watched the first like half of the show, but I passed out, not because the show's boring, because I was just so tired and I haven't finished it. But I will say this, between Stargirl in Blue Valley and wherever Naomi lives, I want to move to both of those towns because they look absolutely gorgeous. I don't know where in Canada they film this stuff, but please let me know so I can move there because it looks like just a gorgeous small town that everyone wants to live in. But yeah, I do want to check out Naomi.
I will say, as you guys know, if you know the character, she's inspired by Superman. She's a Superman fangirl.
She's basically us.
She is, and she's she has a blog and a website about him, and she has all these artifacts and stuff. And I will say though, you do get a shot of Superman in this, and it does look like Hoagland's Superman from Superman and Lois.
I'd say it has to be because
it's the CW same universe. But if there was any kind of like, who is that? Where they go? It does look like him to me. So
I'd love a crossover between Naomi and Freddie Freeman. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun. So, guys, Naomi wasn't on the rundown, but I brought it in. So, guys, if you haven't seen it yet, watch it and let us know what you think. Especially a lot of our fans, our female fans, and any of our male fans who have daughters who are watching it. We'd like to hear what they think about at least the first episode of Naomi. Speaking with females and DC, and as we all know, we are getting Batgirl on HBO Max, and we got our first picture. Leslie Grace, who of course is playing Barbara Gordon and Batgirl on the show, released a photo. And I think a lot of fans will be pleased because it's pretty much the traditional Batgirl costume. And it's perfect. Yes, it is perfect. Awesome.
Sorry, Alicia.
Yeah. It looks so good. I was so happy that that's the one we got because we all know there would have been some kind of, reaction if it was anything but. I always laugh that, as you know, I'm usually the one who's like, yeah, I like what I like, but I understand when they go in a different direction. I always get excited when people are so adamantly against something that's different with these characters. And I get it. You like what you like. You have certain suits, certain costumes, certain cars that you love and that you want to see. But
cars. I wonder who he's talking about.
Vehicles. I'll just say vehicles. Let's put it that way. We'll put it out there. Vehicles.
Vehicles. I wonder who he's referencing.
But no, I get it. And I get, liking what you like and loving what you love and wanting that to be what you get. But it's new time, as we have to evolve every once in a while. So
honestly, for me, this suit is the perfect blend of classic comic Batgirl and 66. Well, let's say not classic, because I'm thinking then you think kind of like 70s Neil Adams type of artistry. Burnside Batgirl meets classic 66. Let's put it that way. I think this suit is it's probably the best looking suit we've gotten in a DC film probably since Batfleck. Yeah. Just most comic accurate, depending on what iteration of Wonder Woman she's either got, like the bathing suit bottoms or the skirt type thing. Superman doesn't have his red trunks. Does he have the S on the back or not? This looks, I think between the Batfleck suit and this, I don't think it gets more accurate DC Comics wise. And then if you want to throw overall like comic books in general, you could throw Deadpool in there as well for Ryan Reynolds' second attempt.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So like, in my opinion, those are like the top three all time in terms of accuracy, just because they look perfect. And Reeves as well. You want to throw Reeves in there. Oh yeah, definitely his suit. But it's instantly like you're just getting 66 vibes. It seems bright. It's purple. But you can see the modern elements of the Burnside costume, and I'm all for it. Burnside isn't my favorite suit. I actually preferred the Gail Simone suit. I know she's the writer. I don't remember the artist's name, but I can't complain about this. It looks great. I'm so interested to see, did she make it? Does she get it from Batman? Right. There's so many elements we don't know about the show, but first look, I'm happy that I saw it. I'm happy that it wasn't some grainy spy pick, because everyone knows I hate spy picks.
Yeah, she released it, right? It was Leslie Grace who posted it. So
it just looks good. She's, I don't know if she's on top of a cathedral or whatnot, but absolutely and utterly perfect. Just wonderful.
It's funny. Someone in our group commented like, who's behind her? Because you see this shadowy shadowy figure behind her.
I believe it was Brian DeMasso.
But I don't think I think that's just a shadow from the gargoyle.
I think it's her shadow.
I think there's a gargoyle, and it's kind of like the way it was shot in the lighting, and it kind of just makes it the shadow there. But it was an interesting comment because I didn't notice it first, and then I looked. I'm like, oh, what if that's? But I don't think it's anyone. I just think that it's just a shadowy thing. Also, there's been 3 characters added in unspecified roles. Rebecca Front, Corey Johnson, and Ethan Kai have been added to the cast of Batgirl, but we don't know what roles they are playing yet. So we got the picture, we got more casting.
I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited.
It's weird. This was first announced as the Whedon Batgirl, right? When we first heard we were getting the Batgirl thing.
Well, we all know why that was. No.
And then we thought, well, that's probably not going to happen. And then now they come back and we're actually getting stuff. We know what's happening. It's awesome.
That Whedon thing was never true, though. That was a cover for the Snyder cover-up. So, like, Whedon was never going to make a Batgirl movie.
That's right. It was all...
Even though at the time when we all thought he was a decent human being.
It was all PR to cover up what was going on with Snyder. Yes, you are correct. But we've come a long way from then, at least with the character, and I'm really looking forward to this. This is, again, we're getting a Batgirl movie, guys. Like, what the hell?
I'm excited. And with Keaton.
I know,
right? It's so interesting. And it's a multiverse thing, too, because, like, it's basically the sequel to The Flash. Right. Like, let's kind of be honest here. You know, Keaton goes from The Flash to Batgirl, so we'll see what happens. I'm very interested to see, there was that picture of that mural that went around, and that was a spy pick, and everyone's making their assumptions of whether it's a suit or whatnot, but we'll find out what Keaton looks like in the Flash.
It's a Robin, so we don't know, guys. We don't know. But again, it's cool to be talking about new content and getting excited about characters that honestly, we had Batgirl in Batman and Robin, but I never thought she would get her solo movie type thing happening. Of course, Wonder Woman, you always knew eventually we'd get one, but Batgirl, I never thought we'd get, and here we are. So, man, I can't wait.
It's a good time.
It's a very good time.
I hate to be one of those people who aren't happy right now.
Yeah. Really quickly on that. Look, I understand there are people out there who aren't happy with what happened and how it broke down. But guys, just why you if you're going to be mad at people for crapping on things you love, don't turn around and do the same thing for new stuff coming out. Like, just be happy and supportive of what you want. If you keep wanting to go down that road, that's fine. Keep doing what you do. I'm not going to stop you. You're all grown adults. You do what you want. But leave the other stuff alone.
I just think it really points out the difference between, one fan base and another. There are some people who are kind of fraudulent DC fans, and you are clearly identified. Yeah,
I mean, I tweeted out about Peacemaker. I said, if you're openly rooting for Peacemaker to fail, you are not a fan of DC, and you're not. You're a fan of one vision, one director, one thing that you want to see, and that's it. So again, if you are that, that's fine. But just stay in your lane then. Keep supporting what you want to support. Keep going down that road. Let other people have what they want. And then we could keep moving forward. Let's just keep moving on.
I guess they're gonna keep on hashtagging.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what I'm not gonna stop you. I try not to get involved anymore. It's not productive. It's not a productive use of my time. But if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. Just try and keep it in your own lane. Stay in your lane and don't try and step on other people or go at other people. Just keep it moving in your direction, and we'll keep it moving in our direction, and that's that. That's fine. That's all I have to say about that. Sorry about that little PSA, guys, but one more thing I have to say, though. As you know, we are sponsored by Manscaped. And, it's 2022. It's a new year. It's a new you, guys. I know we say that every single time New Year's comes around. We want to, better ourselves, whether you want to lose weight or be more active in life. Maybe you have a show, a podcast you want to start, something new in your life. We all do things to stay new. We also want to keep our appearance, freshen up your appearance. And of course, with Manscaped, You know, they're here to save your balls, man. The balls often get neglected in life. I know it's something we don't think about much, but they're very important to us as men. So, you know,
speak for yourself.
So as you guys know, Manscaped has over 4 million men worldwide who have trusted Manscaped, and we have an exclusive offer at manscaped.com. Use code Gotham and you get 20% off plus free shipping. Again, their top line product is their Performance Package 4.0, where you get the trimmer, you get the crop reviver, and which Pete loves. He talks about it all the time.
Oh, yeah. So I got to order a new bottle.
Yes,
right here.
yes. So we guys, as you guys can see, we got this stuff for free, and now we need to, you know, we got to pay up and get more, because we've just been so happy with the experience that we've had from getting the Manscaped products. And it's been awesome. It's been a really cool thing. We want to thank everyone who already has hopped on and used our code.
I'll say this. I got not one nick with that 4.0 lawnmower. Not once. Not one. I got no nicks. Got no crannies. All I got is it's mode. It's nice.
Yeah, and then of course it has the light. So if you guys are trying to do this on the slide, you know, trying to be all discreet about your manscaping, you can just use the light. You don't even have to turn the light on. You just kind of get in there. I wouldn't suggest doing that in public, but hey, there's some crazy people out there.
Well, it depends on what circles you hang out in, I guess.
So guys, don't forget, you get 20% off and free shipping with the code Gotham at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use our code Gotham. It's New Year, no pubes in 2022 with Manscaped. All right, so Pete, I think that about covers it all today. I think we're good. Anything else you want to say to the people?
I'm thinking it's, in the words of Nick Sednick, it's pizza time. I need to get me some lunch.
Yeah, I had a bagel, but I might be trying to get some food too. So,
Lox bagel?
No, I'm not. It's weird. I like salmon. I don't like, and that's what lox is. But I'm not a big fan of it on a bagel. I don't know why.
You're clearly from Connecticut.
I don't know. I'm definitely not from Brooklyn, because in Brooklyn, I think that's a faux pas. I don't think you'd be from Brooklyn if you don't like lox. But I am not a fan of the lox. The rap group, I am.
Brooklyn.
I'm a fan of the lox, the rap group. Jadakiss, Chic Louch, and of course Styles P.
I always called them LOX.
You didn't think that spelled lox?
It did, but I always said LOX. I feel like we always said LOX.
But yeah, I'm a fan of them. So that's the only lox I get down with. Oh, sorry to my lox fans out there. So, all right, Pete. So let them know where they can find you and what you got going on and all your good stuff.
All right. Well, here we go. You can follow me on social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, and Zack Snyder's favorite Vero at Pete Illustrated. You can follow podcast number 1, the podcast you're listening to now, at straight_O_G. That's Straight Outta Gotham. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us in our Facebook group. And you can, again, follow us on our neglected platform, Instagram, and our most used platform, Twitter. We are not on Vero. I'm only on Vero personally. Make sure you check out batmanonfilm.com for my comic book reviews. I'm doing an insane amount of reviews right now. I'm doing 2 reviews a week because of Batwoman and Shadows of the Bat on Detective Comics. So for the next 11 weeks, I will be doing 2 reviews a week. Dedication to Bill Raimi is my number one goal. Check out Batman on Film YouTube for my interviews with Michael Uslan, Tara Strong, and my toy interviews and reviews. Check out Team Yellow Oval. Check out podcast number 2 at Italians for Spidey, the Italian Spider-Man Coalition podcast that I co-host with the finest individuals from Chicago, Nico and Nick Caruso, the son and father combo that we all love. Check that out. We got a show on No Way Home. We do a review show and we talk about some amazing Spider-Man comics as well. So hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Instagram. Let's talk some capes and tights. And, I don't know. Don't be a zaddy.
Pete, is that Hulk thing straight out of Gamma? Is that ever going to take off?
I've got the episodes in the can. Right. Me and Lau have been recording nonstop. It's just tough with his, he's engaged. He's doing Batman Book Club. He's doing all these great things. So Lauer's a little busy, but we've got some episodes in the can that we're gonna publish soon. So the SOG, Straight Outta Gotham, the Hulk Book Club, which is the sister show of the Batman Book Club by the greatest host of all time, Ryan Lauer. Sounds like Tower.
Yeah. the Batman Book Club, the show I used to edit all the time. Man, come a long way. Shout out to Ryan, man. That show is
Shout out to Ryan for giving you some free time.
That show is great. It's just a really good show.
Podcasting takes up time. You guys don't understand. You non-podcasters don't realize how much time
it's true. It's true. It takes up time. And
why do you think I don't do tour review videos?
And you have to. I mean, I don't edit our show as much as I used to. In the beginning, I did more because we weren't.
Who you?
Well,
Rob
we weren't
Myers?
in the beginning. We weren't as polished as we are now. So I was more concerned about how we were coming across.
I'm pretty sure Rob Myers still edits out every and
I don't do that anymore because that takes away the human element for me. So the only time I'll do that is if we have like multiple ones in a row that I'm like, all right, I got to get rid of that. That sounds like we can't talk. So, which sometimes I can. I get tongue-tied all the time. Anyway, I won't get tongue-tied about this. If you guys want to hit me up, you can check me out on Twitter at finally33, spelled finale 33. Yeah, see right there. I jinxed myself. Same thing on Instagram. If you guys want to hit me up there. Instagram, I really, really just post my food stuff. If you guys are interested in any of the recipes of the food that I actually post, you guys can get at me. I do like to cook, and every once in a while I get going and I'll do something crazy. So check me out over there. I'm not the one who measures much. I just kind of do things by taste.
Have you been watching Next Level Chef?
I haven't.
Fox?
Is it something I should? All right.
Great show. Gordon Ramsay. Great cooking contest show.
I'll give that a watch because I always liked all the shows he's been on. So I'll give that a watch. I love the kids one. The kids one is always great, but that's another show.
He's got to be nice to them.
But I just like that kids are so much better at this stuff than I am. It's like amazing. These kids make these fantastic meals with all these ingredients. I'm like, I could never do that. So it's just awesome to watch. Guys, don't forget to check us out, of course, on Facebook. We have our Facebook page and our show page where all the important stuff about the show, the podcast are showed. I just linked the RSS feed directly to the SOG page. So now you'll get a direct, as soon as I post it, it'll go immediately up there and you'll get the actual feed from Podbean, from our hosting site, Podbean. So it's right there. So that's great. In the Facebook group, Pete and I have been a little more active lately. We've been a little more interacting with the fans in the group. It's stuff that we want to do more of. Again, occasionally I'll just go up and do a movie review and I'll post it right without telling Pete. I'll just go up and do it. I like doing that stuff.
So. I don't control him. He doesn't have to tell me. I don't know why he keeps bringing that up.
It's our page.
I'm not some overlord.
Well, it's our page. I don't want you to be sitting there one day like, oh, I got an alert from the group. What's going on? And Eric's live.
I think you should do more of them. Every time you go see a movie, you should do a car review.
All right, 100%. I will. I'll actually start doing that more. I love doing it. It's fun. So I'll do.
If I can get you to retweet the news articles from the SOG feed now,
I've started to do it. I have started. You asked me to do it, and I've started to do it. So I have. I just don't always see them. That's the thing. I don't always.
You don't have to see. You just go to the page.
Yeah, that's true.
That's all I do. I just go and I just retweet everything an hour and a half later.
I should know too, because even you posted on the group, in the Facebook group too. So I'm like, oh, it's there too. I should just go right away when I see it.
I imagine when I do these things, your phone blows up.
Well, I don't have my notifications turned on for Twitter.
Well, you are a smart man then.
I had them at one point, and my phone was buzzing all the time, so I was like, "Screw it."
That was me.
All right, guys. Sorry, we've got a little bit. We're doing more live production talk here. Sorry about that. So yes. So guys, again, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, wherever you can find us. You know where we are. And thanks for all the support. Again, episode 61. We probably could let 10, 15 more if we had more time, but I feel like we're just normal people. Yeah, I feel like we're a slow burn for you guys. Yeah, that's what it is. We're a slow,
other places bombard you with content and you probably don't need.
Anticipate.
And we don't do that.
Ours is an event. Yeah. Pete and I are an event. You just want to listen to us.
Like, when are the idiots going to talk? Where's the moron perspective?
All right, again, guys, thanks for listening. Of course, you are listening to Straight Outta Gotham, and for Peter Vera, I'm Eric Holzman, and we'll see you next time.
Booyah!